Today we will talk about how we can copy an object to another object. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at student class. So this is our student class. It has three data members and two constructors and some other methods. And now let's try to copy an object. So by copying an object means we don't mean to copy just the reference. We need to copy all the data. So for now I have created two objects of the student class, and I'm using the print data on both of them. I am giving these values to my data members through the constructor. So let's run our program, and as seen here, uh, as you can see, here we have data of two objects, and each object has a different data, right? So this is the data of first object, and this is the data of second object. But what if we want to copy the data of s1 to s2? You might be thinking about doing this, which is simply assigning s2 to s1. Now let's print the data of so what you want to do, what this will do, it will basically we are trying to copy the data of s2 into s1, right? This is our goal. So uh, let's print the data of s1 now. So initially this was s1, so this is the data of s1. But let's run our program and see what has changed. So as you can see that our s1 has the data of s2, right? So now it has the data of this variable, this object. And if I print s2 as well, and as you can see, it has they both have the same data now. So now it might seem like the data is perfectly copied, but this is not true. uh, so to This is not true. The reason is that objects store references. So when we create a new object of student class, a block is created in memory which has all the data members, and s1 is just an object which is pointing towards that block. So it stores references. It tells us where, it stores the address where this block is stored. Similarly, s2 is just a reference. It doesn't contain anything. It just simply points to the block which has been created. So these are just references. We store the location. So when we do s1 equals s2, it is basically telling that now s1 is pointing towards the block to which uh, s2 was pointing. So now s1 and s2 are pointing towards the same block, or pointing towards the same block. So now what it is doing, it is basically telling Java to point to the same block. So now s1 and s2 both are pointing towards this block, which is the this one. So now to perfectly copy the data, we need to create a new function so they don't point toward the same block. Instead, the data is copied. So let's create a new function called copy data, and it will take an object as a parameter. So it will take one object which will be the parameter. I'm gonna call it other, and now the concept of this parameter will come in. So now what we will do, we will basically assign we are basically trying to copy the object which will be passed as a parameter to this copy data function. So this is what we will do now. And now to do this, I'm gonna use this dot name equals other dot name. So now I am basically telling it to take the name of the other object, that is the passing object, right? and copy it to the caller object. So it will basically copy the name into the caller object. Similarly, let's do the same with the registration number, and similarly we can do the same with the GPA. So now we got all three of all three data members copied, and this should be good now. Now let's instead of doing this, let's use our function. So now I'm gonna I'm gonna use the copy data function. So let me just use the copy data function, and in the parameter I'm gonna pass s2. So now what it will do, it will basically copy the data of s2 into s1. So now if I run my program, as you can see, they are printing the same thing, which means our data has been perfectly copied. Now let's print s2 only. So we know that let's print s1 actually, since s2 is the data member that has been copied. So now as you can see, the data has been copied into s1, and so let's look at this code. So this is the name of s2, and this one is the name of s1. So it is basically